Good morning.
I'm excited.
Excited, maybe a little bit nervous.
Should we do funny faces? No.
You're watching the crossing of a major finish line. The hugs, the relief, took months of work.
It does not feel like it's been 9, right? Yeah.
Now, a rare chance to celebrate.
Congratulations.
Because this is graduation day.
I'm very grateful for each one of you ladies. You're all very inspiring.
These 29 women are sitting on a small stage in front of a crowd.
But this kind of gives me a map so that I can see where I'm going.
They've spent 8 months developing plans. One, to start a small business. Another, to rebuild their lives. Something they can act on once they're finally free. Welcome to the only women's prison in the state of Oregon. Population 1,087, including Oregon's only woman on death row. You'll just look at me and talk to me. Hello. Most here serve out their sentences in medium and minimum security facilities.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So I'll be sitting there and you'll be looking at me and talking to me the whole time.
Good. I don't want to be looking.
No.
Meet 3.
Hi, my name is Mariah Williams.
I'm Amy. I'm from Salem.
My name is Vanessa Sherrod. I am 38, going to be 39. During a time that I didn't know how to cope with my daughter fighting cancer, I turned to prescription medication that I was being prescribed as a coping mechanism.
Vanessa has 3 kids. Her youngest was 4 when she was diagnosed with cancer.
Sorry, it gets hard to talk about this.
Around the same time, Vanessa was in a car accident, which injured her back. A few months later, she had to have her gallbladder removed. A doctor prescribed oxycodone for the pain, but Vanessa became addicted, and soon she was using the pills to cope with everything.
I felt like if I didn't have them, I feel like I would die, is exactly what it would feel like. So when it came to like stealing or making, decisions to commit crime, it was like, it was a given, like I couldn't die, like that's exactly what it felt like.
By spring 2015, Vanessa was writing up rental contracts as a landlord. Problem was, those contracts were for properties she didn't own. It was a scam.
Would meet with them and sign up a rental contract from the rental property, and then they would not, they didn't get the property when the time came.
Vanessa took deposits and disappeared. She also stole merchandise from a local Lowe's and tried to return it for cash. She says her addiction and the grief over her daughter's cancer turned her into someone she doesn't recognize.
It's not something easy to deal with to watch your daughter go through that. And it's no excuse for where my life, fell into criminal activity and addiction that I couldn't control, but it helped me get through it.
We just went through some marriage problems. We were on the verge of divorce. He started using drugs, then offered it to me. I started doing drugs too, and our lives just spun out of control. He's in prison now too.
At first, Amy Lorenzo didn't know her husband was using meth. Looking back, there were signs.
It's like not coming home. I would sit with my kids at night while they were crying, just wanted their dad. He'd say that he'd be there in a few minutes. He wouldn't show up.
Eventually, the mom of 3 started using too. She'd been working as a heavy equipment operator on a paving crew, but that salary wasn't enough to keep her high.
To steal a car one day, or steal things from a store another day, or go into a bank and cash a check, like whatever I had to do to feed my addiction.
Those checks she's talking about were fraudulent. Amy cashed them at a local U.S. bank.
I did it a couple of different times. One time it was like $3,000. The other time, it looked like a payroll check is what it looked like.
Amy is now sober. And like Vanessa, she thinks about her addiction and what she did to fuel it every day.
I feel like a caged animal. I've been cut off from everything in the outside pretty much, like mostly my kids. Interaction with my kids is the thing that's the worst about being in here.
So a few nights after I got back from Alaska, I went to a bar and I was invited to a house from people that I didn't know.
Back in Portland, after visiting relatives, Mariah went to that house party where she remembers people getting into a fight. Court documents say it was over cocaine. Mariah was beaten up.
And so we left this apartment and we go to the gas station and there was gas that was picked up. We went back to the apartment and the stairs were set on fire.
Investigators said 3 adults and 2 kids escaped that fire, but 2 of the adults were burned. Mariah pleaded guilty. It was her first run-in with the law.
I had always gone to school and I've always had a job and I was raised by a really good family, so it's hard for me to connect with a lot of people here.
By the time she's out, she'll have spent half her adult life in prison.
That's a lot of time. That's a big chunk of my life. And considering that I wasn't going around committing crimes prior to this incident that happened, it was a life-changing experience for me.
Mariah, Amy, and Vanessa had never told their stories on camera before.
To participate, we would have to just like be honest about what happened.
They were nervous.
Okay.
But they were open.
Is that gonna be a thing if you guys put this on the news? No. Okay.
Over months, I sat down with these women again and again to check in on their progress and to get to know them as people.
What was going on last month health-wise?
Oh, I had a surgery on my foot. Yeah, but it's healed tremendously.
We watched as they prepared to get out.
Can we do that? Come back.
And as they built a plan to help them stay out.
Lots of things to do today, yes? All right.
I'm not coming back here. I do not like it here. This is not a comfortable place for me.